Hi guys, welcome to episode 10 of WillLem plays through just the first rank of a bunch of custom packs in NeoLemmix. So it's time for Icho's pack. This is the NeoLemmix introduction pack, which is specifically aimed at beginners. And the idea of it is to introduce NeoLemmix to players who might never have played in NeoLemmix before, or who might never have played Lemmings before. So I'm expecting that the levels will be extremely easy, and really what I'm going to be looking at here is how well they present the game to somebody who might be a complete beginner. Now obviously I'm not a complete beginner, but because I've been investigating easy levels recently with this series and with various other projects I've been doing, hopefully I'm well placed enough to have a look at this pack from that point of view. And in a slight break from tradition, I'm going to actually play the first two ranks in this pack, because the first rank is literally just introducing skills. The second rank starts to introduce objects and other things, so I think it'd be a good idea to have a look at those two ranks together. So, enough waffle, let's get on with it. Just digging into NeoLemmix. I wonder what we might have to do here. Okay, we've got a preview screen, so welcome to NeoLemmix. The goal of the game is to lead a group of lemmings from the hatch to the exit. Help the lemmings by assigning them skills. Each level can have a different selection of skills that you can assign. The digger lets the lemming dig straight down, creating a tunnel that other lemmings will fall into. And if you ever feel overwhelmed in a level, press middle click, take a deep breath and take your time to get an overview, because the middle click by default is set to pause. So let's do that. Right, so literally the only thing you can do is dig, just like with the original, just dig. And I like the fact that the layout here alludes to that original level, and it's just extended it slightly and added a few more other things. It's good this, because a beginner can obviously dig there if they want to and see what happens if they go into the water. So yeah, that's good. Brill, okay. Let's take a bash at it. Next up, we've got the basher. The basher creates a horizontal tunnel through the terrain. As with the digger, the basher stops when there is no more terrain in front of it. You may have already noticed in the last level that a grey shadow indicates the effect of each selected skill in the panel, whilst hovering the mouse over a lemming. Now, bash your way through the level. So that's good. It's kind of starting to talk about the features of NeoLemmix as well, such as skill shadows. So even though it is just a basher tutorial, I do like the fact that it's already bringing the player's attention to other features of NeoLemmix as well. So yeah, I am using my frame stepping, by the way, just to kind of speed this up a bit, mainly to keep the video watchable. Obviously a beginner would not be doing that, but I am going to, because I want to keep the video as watchable as possible. Fence and mine for a diagonal line. Let's have a look at this. Fences and miners are two more terrain removal skills. Fences create a diagonal tunnel upwards through the terrain. Miners do the same, but in a downwards direction. Their angles are the same, but miners create a bigger tunnel. Hint, you may want to avoid the lava pits in this level. Lemmings don't like fire and lava. Okay. Right, so this is the kind of level where it's been laid out so that there is only one solution. So the player can use a fencer here if they want, but they're going to go into the lava if they do. So you literally do have to play it exactly as it's been laid out. Climb up, hang on, get along. Okay, so now we've got two more skills, climbers and shimmiers. The climber is a permanent skill that stays with the lemming until he dies or exits the level. Climbers climb up straight walls until they either reach an edge or hit their head. If they hit their head, they fall back down. Shimmiers jump up and try to reach a ceiling. If they are successful, they go along the ceiling until they reach 2 or more pixel height difference. Lemmings die if they fall 64 or more pixels in height. Okay, so quite a lot of information there, but again, the idea is that the player will play this and pretty much figure out most of that for themselves. And again, the skill shadows which were mentioned in a previous level are very useful here. I just noticed something then actually, let me just have a look at something. Ah right, no, it's the lemming's feet. I thought the skill shadow was going around the lemming as well, but it's not, it's just the lemming's foot. Okay, so they'll climb up there, that's safe. And then it shows you there that they can't, if they start shimmying there, they'll stop. So you need to wait until they get to there. And there is a generous number of shimmiers just in case the player gets something wrong and doesn't know about backwards frame stepping, because at this point frame stepping hasn't been mentioned. So if the player gets something wrong, then really there's not a massive amount of leeway in that skill set, but there is one or two more shimmies than is required, so you know, I suppose a mistake or two can be made. Block and blow in the snow, skills 5. Curtains up for blockers and bombers. Blockers turn around any lemmings who walk into them. Blockers can't return to walking without help. They do their duty until the very end, like when they are exploded by the bomber skill, for example. The bomber explodes any lemming which it is assigned to on the spot. The explosion creates an egg-shaped crater in the process, which also removes terrain. I think for the most part, when it comes to skills, my preferred way to learn skills is just to have a go. So, you know, just have a level with like 50 of everything and just see what happens. But that isn't the best way for everyone to learn. Some people do prefer to have things explained, and the NeoLemmix introduction pack definitely does a good job of that. Alright, okay, let's have a look. So I obviously don't need to go through the thick part, I can just wait till they get over here. This one can be a blocker, and then yeah, that's better. Oh no, it's not. Okay, I know what to do then. I will do that first and then make the blocker here. There we go. Cool, okay. Oh yeah, and then just like the blocker level from original Lemmings, if you don't nuke the blockers, the level just keeps on going. NeoLemmix has infinite time limits, so it might be that a player would be sat there for ages thinking, what am I supposed to do to end this level? I suppose it does say in the preview screen that you need to end the blockers with a bomber. Maybe they would try the nuke button to see what happens there, but the time is never going to run out, so it might be worthwhile putting a time limit on that level just in case, because you don't want to put too much information in the preview screen, I would think. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. A float, a glide puts any abyss aside. Let's talk about floaters and gliders. The floater is a permanent skill which allows a lemming to survive long falls to the ground. The glider is similar, but the lemming glides down in a diagonal line. Both skills save the lemming from splatting immediately after the assignment. A lemming can either be a floater or a glider, but never both. Okay. Definitely worth mentioning that one, because it's not 100% obvious. Like, I would definitely think there's bound to be some people who might think, what if I try and assign a floater to a glider or vice versa? so it is worth knowing. Brilliant, okay. Building flat and building high. Now the very crucial builder and platformer skills. Builders build a 12-step diagonal bridge upwards. Platforms create a flat, straight line of bricks without gaining any height. They can only be assigned when they actually can place bricks in front of them. If either skill builds against a wall or the lemming hits his head, he will stop the task and turn around. The last 3 steps on both skills are indicated by a clicking sound. Do not be discouraged by losing a few lemmings if you can afford it. So that's bringing attention for the first time to the save requirement. Right, we're going to have to platform across there. So yeah, you only have to save 5. And we are going to try and save all of them. Let's see if we can. I suppose once I've built over these 2 areas here, that's it. There's nowhere else in the level that the lemmings can die, so that's it for assigning skills to lemmings just so that they don't fall into the water. It's just a case of building up here now. Okay. Yeah, decent level that. So on to level 8 then, and it's a very beautiful looking level. It's stacks and stones saved our bones. So stackers and stoners are up next. Stackers create a vertical wall of 8 bricks right in front of them. The wall is high enough to turn lemmings around after it's been finished. The last 3 bricks are again indicated by a click. Stoners are similar to bombers, but instead of exploding, the lemming turns into a lemming-shaped stone. This can also be used to block lemmings. Stoners can be assigned in mid-air. This allows them to create terrain blocks during a fall which other lemmings can land on, so it's another way to get lemmings down from a height. And it's instant as well. When you assign a bomber or a stoner in mid-air, it's an instant assignment. Right, I see what we've got to do here. Hang on though, I'll try and do it with as many, well, with as few stoners as I possibly can. This one at the top might have to be a stoner because that's going to take too long and that one will fall off. Unless I do this. Will that be enough time? To be honest, it's a moot point really, because there's only enough. Yeah, there's only enough stackers and stoners to do it this way anyway. I do have 3 more left, so hopefully can do this bit without using any more stoners. Yeah, there's quite a distance between them two, so this should be doable. Brill. Amphibious Engineer Squad. Skills 9. Lemmings normally can't swim, so water is a death trap for them unless you've got swimmers. The swimmer is a permanent skill with which they can cross any pond or river. In some levels, there are also deadly traps which kill lemmings who walk into their trigger area. Disarmers can deactivate them for good, and like the swimmer, the disarmer is a permanent skill. Disarming takes a few seconds, but the trap becomes harmless immediately. Which, I have to say, doesn't actually make that much sense. Because if it takes that long for the disarmer to do what it's doing, then it is a bit confusing that the disarmer carries on doing something when the trap is already safe. But it's probably too late to change that from a physics point of view. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with this level. It is just a case of assigning the skills to the lemmings and then watching what happens. Cool, so walking on the Cloner Cliffs. Now, from what I remember, this is the first level in the pack which is kind of a bit of a puzzle. So walkers and cloners are two very handy skills. Walkers turn around walking lemmings in the other direction. They can also interrupt any skill a lemming is currently doing. This includes the blocker skill, but no permanent skills. Interrupting does not change the direction of the lemming. The cloner creates a clone of a lemming. The clone faces the other direction and inherits all permanent and non-permanent skills from the original lemming. If the original has 5 builder steps left, the clone has 5 builder steps left. Let's see if you can save them all. Yeah, so from what I remember, this one is a bit of a puzzle. So... yeah, I didn't want to do it like that, actually. So we'll walk the lemming down to here, then clone, and then turn the walkers around. Sorry, and then turn the cloners around, in theory. Or maybe not. Oh, I see how you do it. Right, and then clone here. Right, and then turn that one around. Okay. That's it. That's the one. Jumping Lem Flash. The jumper skill makes a lemming jump forward in an arc. Should he not hit solid ground after finishing the arc, he will fall straight down. The distance fallen will be measured starting after the jump in this case. Should the lemming hit his head on a ceiling during the jump, he will fall straight down immediately without turning round. If he jumps into a wall in front of him, he will not only fall, but also turn around. So there's quite a lot of rules here. Sometimes the jumper does turn around, sometimes they don't, and it's worth getting to know all of these rules about the jumper as soon as possible, really. So let's jump into this level and try it out. Okay, so it's 1 lemming. No, it's not, it's 2 lemmings. But it's an infinite time limit. Yeah, I see what's happened there. That chain is placed so that if you jump too late, the lemming will fall down. And then of course we can use these to turn the lemming around. And for a bit of fun, I'm going to go back and get both lemmings home at the same time. There we go. Brill. So level 12 then, they can't mash us all. You may have noticed a number above the plus and the minus in the bottom left corner of the skill bar. This is the current release rate. The release rate determines the rate at which the hatch releases new lemmings. The higher the number, the faster the lemmings spawn. Every level has a starting release rate which you cannot go under. Let's try turning the release rate up to the maximum of 99 in this level. With the slow standard rate, the lemmings won't be able to go through the traps. When enough lemmings come at the same time though, right, so this is a tutorial for a compression method. And in fact, let's just go straight to 99. And then you can just sit back and have a cup of tea. It is compression method, but there is a there's a better version of compression method where you group all the lemmings together so that literally you'd lose only 3 on this particular path, but you are losing quite a lot because they are still ungrouped. But it is showing that a higher release rate allows more of them to walk through. So let's carry on. Just nuke 'em, skills 13. I think this is the last. At last we've got the nuke. The nuke is always available. It assigns a countdown to all lemmings. When it reaches 0, the lemmings explode and die. It also stops any more lemmings from entering the level. The nuke can be more than just the rage quit button though. The lemmings will explode one after another, and the ones whose timer still hasn't reached 0 can still walk and act. Use this fact in this level. Let all lemmings enter the level, then double click the nuke button. Observe closely. Okay, so it's teaching about nuke solutions, essentially. So, just do a little frame skip. Right, so that's all of them. Let's see what happens. Right, so 27 of them managed to make it into the exit. No, 35 of them. I always do that. Like, because the save requirement is 8, the counter starts at -8. So when it says 27, it's actually that 35 of them have got in, and it's counted that -8. But I always get that wrong when I'm doing my LPs. I do apologise, and I'm really not that daft IRL. Okay, so we're on to what is essentially rank 2, but I'm still counting this as rank 1 because I'm grouping the 2 ranks together. So up for a walk, this is objects and functions 1, and as far as I'm aware, this rank aims to teach you about all the different types of objects and terrain you may encounter, as well as the most essential functions in NeoLemmix. The pause button in the skill bar pauses the game just like your middle click or P key. Pressing F will activate fast forward to accelerate the game. Pressing the button with the 2 green arrows also works for this. This level has a lot of decorative objects the lemmings can simply pass through. They are normally placed outside the main playing area though. Go for a walk here and see for yourself. Right, okay, so I'm not 100% sure. That's not terrain. Is this lamppost? No, it's not. Oh, we're not supposed to know about CPM yet. But yeah, this is one of those Style sets that I've got no idea what's terrain, what's background. That looks like it might be fire. That looks like it might be something there. It isn't though, so why is that? Because it's not an object. That little thing there is animating. Does that mean that terrain can animate? Right, so it wasn't, I have to say, it wasn't 100% clear what this level was supposed to be for. Because it has just been a case of bashing through those two houses, and it's not very clear what's terrain, what's background. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that level, to be honest. Time crime, objects and functions 2. Time waits for no one. Some levels have a time limit and will prevent lemmings from exiting when it runs out. If you have not saved enough lemmings at that point, you have failed your attempt. The timer can be observed at the upper right of the skill bar. Be sure to use the shortest way possible to the exit, avoid having the lemmings walk along detours, and crank the release rate up to the maximum as soon as possible to get the lemmings out quickly. If you do all these things, timers will be a lot less scary. Right, so let's do the release rate straight away, as advised. And right, it looks to me like there's going to be only just enough time to do this one. So I'm going to place a blocker here. Oh my gosh. Right, clearly that wasn't the way to go then. Right, this is going to be the way to go. Okay, so what I'll do is this one can bash through, and I'll place a blocker here instead. That should do it for that row. Right, and these two lemmings are grouped together, so I'm going to make the one at the back bash so he doesn't carry on walking over here. Right, now I could just let the time limit run out on these guys, but we already know about nuke buttons, so we'll do that. And then let's move on. Index error out of bounds, objects and functions 3. All sides of a level are deadly, top, bottom, left and right. Any lemming that tries to cross them dies immediately, so try to keep them away from all edges at all costs. Nearly missed that one. Okay, there we go. Nice little edges of levels tutorial. Iron Anthill, objects and functions 4. There can be more than one hatch or exit in a level. Pause and look around at the start to catch them all. Levels can vary in height, so you also may have to scroll up and down instead of just left and right. Steel can't be damaged by destructive skills. It is usually easy to recognise, but if you are having trouble, press caps lock or V for a clear physics mode, or press the pink and grey button on the right. It lets you clearly see what is terrain and what is steel, and also which objects are present and where their trigger areas are. More on clear physics mode in later levels. Now try to dig through this steel maze. Wow! Gosh, this level is quite... Mind you, there's loads of skills, so that's good. That's nice to see. It isn't just a meanie level, it's plenty of skills to experiment and play with and try out different ways of getting through the level. And there's quite a few exits as well, I just noticed that. Probably need to bash through there first. Good level for showing that the steel stops the lemmings as well though. And I've mucked that up, they won't be able to get up there now. So I needed to do that. In fact, I can wait till that one's gone up there and then mine. Brill, there we go. Yeah, fun level that one. Trap Roulette, Objects and Functions 5. Some traps only go off once. After the activation they are completely harmless. Let's see if you can avoid the normal endless traps and find the route with the single-use traps. Clear Physics mode will help you here. Hovering the mouse over an object tells you exactly what it is when the mode is active. It also helps in detecting somewhat hidden objects by displaying them and their trigger in a brash colour. One-way fields turn around lemmings in the indicated direction when they walk into it. That also includes the skills that lemmings currently perform. Right, so those two are single use. Let's have a look. Let's use Clear Physics mode and see what's going on. Okay, so that's got a little number 1 next to it. So that's a single use trap. That's got an infinity symbol next to it. So that one will keep repeating. Okay, so the route is here, to here, to here, to here. That's a force field going which way? Maybe if I unpause. Right, I can't tell. It looks to me like those are arrows pointing to the right though, so that's probably what's going on there. They're single use, so are those. That's infinite, and there's the exit. So the route is that way, probably mine there, bash, and go across there. All right. Right. Ah, yes, it is. It'll turn them round. Oh no, I see. The arrows are here. I was actually looking at that classic optical illusion there. I was thinking that the light green was an arrow pointing to the right, but it's not. It's the dark bit is the arrow pointing to the left. I see. Okay. Okay, excellent. Okay, so level 6 then, follow the arrow. One-way walls can only be destroyed in the direction that arrows are facing. Left and right facing one-way walls need to be destroyed by left and right facing bashers, fencers or miners. Diggers and bombers also work. Downwards facing one-way walls need to be destroyed by diggers, miners or bombers. Fencers and bashers do not work at all. Upwards facing one-way walls need to be destroyed by fencers or bombers. Bashers, miners and diggers do nothing. Okay, so that's quite a lot of information, but again, it's the kind of level which the player will just kind of find all of that out on their own anyway. Use the climbers in this level to get into the right positions to tear down the one-way walls. So this is good, really. It's kind of presenting all the information that the player needs, but then it's giving them an opportunity to kind of figure it all out for themselves anyway. So really, it's kind of catering to all different learning methods, which is obviously great. So, right, I see what needs to happen here, so I need to mine down to the left. And I need to do so in such a place that these guys can walk up. I know what I can do here. This climber can go over there and then do that. Now I think, I can't remember from the previous screen, but I think bashers can't do upwards. No, they can't. So it will need to be a fence at this one. And then this one will need to be a miner from there. So what I can do is send the climber all the way over here to bash through, and then mine down from here. That's going to need to be bombers, unfortunately, so it's not going to be an all save. Yeah, that climber splattered as well, so I'm going to do it before. Well, actually, I think I used the climber there to bomb, so. There we go. Set your priorities right, objects and functions 7. Wants to assign a skill to a lemming facing a certain direction. Press and hold left arrow or right arrow. Pressing the blue arrow buttons with the desired direction will also do the trick, so that's referring to the buttons in the skill panel. Just don't forget to unselect these when you are finished. Pressing and holding Control right or W forces the game to select a walking lemming inside your cursor. Useful if you don't want to select the digger inside a digger pit, for example. You can combine this with the directional select mode. Levels may begin with some pre-placed lemmings which are active straight away. These lemmings can already have permanent skills assigned to them. So, again, this very instructive levels, these. So I'm using the arrow key here to select a right facing lemming, and we'll do the same here for a left facing one. And then we've got a little bit of a puzzle here. Okay, so I need to select a walking lemming now, so I'm going to press W and left to make sure I get a walking lemming that's facing to the left so that the digger will carry on. And then same again, but for the right. There's also a couple of floaters. I think that's probably just in case the last few are coming from a bit too high. Pick them up and push them down, objects and functions 8. Sometimes the exit is locked and your lemmings need to first push down all buttons in a level to open it. These buttons are normally in a red colour and turn green upon activation. Some tile sets deviate though, and you may resort to clear physics mode to locate them all. Pickup skills are skills that need to be collected by your lemmings to add them to your skill bar. Just move a lemming through the trigger area to collect them. Now push all the buttons and collect the necessary skills to reach the exit here. Okay, so this one's a bit of a puzzle then. Right, so we need to get through to this button, and we also need that pickup skill there. It's a lose 5, this one, but I will try to save all of them. Ah, look at that! The Mona Lisa's got green hair and a blue shirt. I like that. That's a fun little detail. I see what's happening here, so we're just collecting loads of builders, well, 3. And of course the idea as well, I will just show you, just in case you are watching this as a beginner, clear physics mode will show you that these are buttons, and it also shows you where the trigger area is for the pickups, so that you can make sure that you're walking into the trigger area. And in fact, clear physics mode shows you where the trigger areas are for all interactive objects. So there's fire, so if the lemming goes into that trigger, that pink trigger area there, then they'll get burned by the fire. And the exit, that is the point at which the lemmings actually need to get to in order to exit. What is that? Is that little... That looks like little lemmings made out of fire running around the top. That's so cool. This tile set's cool. I like this one. Yeah, real. Decent little level, that one. Split and splat, objects and functions 9. Sometimes you can be unsure if a fall is survivable or deadly. Press and hold I to bring out the splat fall ruler. It measures a 64 pixel fall, so if a fall is just as long or even longer than this ruler, it is deadly and should be avoided. Splitters will alternate turning lemmings around to the left and to the right. For example, if a lemming coming from the left was not turned around by it, then the next left-facing one will be turned around for sure. Splitters cannot be deactivated. Now, can you avoid the deadly falls here with all the splitter chaos? So again, this could potentially be confusing. I find it a little bit confusing, but again, just simply going into the level will show the player exactly what happens. So as these two walk towards a splitter, that one goes through, but the next one will be turned away. Anyway, let's try and prevent them from dying if we can. Right, so that's 2 that are lost there. One that's lost there. leads to... Right, so there's 5 stackers. And we lost 3 lemmings up here, so let's go for the all save. Just have to make sure that I don't. Oh, I know what I can do. So as this one steps onto the stack, he can start a stack of his own. Yeah, that one needs to be blocked as well. Should be it. I ended up using all of the stackers that time. Awesome. Okay, so what I like about these tutorial levels, by the way, is yes, they are tutorials, but some of them are quite difficult. Like some of them have got quite restricted skill sets, for example, and so they can sort of add an element of challenge to kind of get the player used to the fact that these are supposed to, you know, it is a puzzle game. It's supposed to be quite challenging, and I have to say the introduction pack definitely gets that right. You know, it kind of says, here's all the information you need, and you know, just have a go. You can't really get this wrong, but occasionally it's going to be a little bit difficult, so you have to kind of figure out your way around the level. So yeah, it definitely gets that right. Beam them over, objects and functions 10. Teleport lemmings to their designated receiver when they walk into their trigger area. They can only handle 1 lemming at a time though. Teleporters are usually recognisable by their in sign and receivers by their out sign. To clearly see which teleporter belongs to which receiver, you can count on clear physics mode again. Okay, so it keeps mentioning clear physics mode, which is good because it's reminding the player that okay, this is something which I'm going to need to rely on quite a bit whilst I get used to the game. Zoom out with the mouse wheel, activate clear physics mode and hover over the teleporter of your choice to get exact information on where it leads to, which is probably why people don't like teleporters and receivers being overlapped. I can kind of understand that. Choose the right teleporter here, avoid the traps, and collect. When it says choose the right teleporter here, I would reword that as choose the correct teleporter here, because that might be misunderstood as choose the teleporter on the right. Avoid the traps and collect the pickup skills so you can reach the exit. Cool. Oh my god, it's one of those levels that just looks like a mess wrapped inside a headache. Okay, so that one leads to that one down there. That one leads to that one. So we don't want to go into there because that one will lead us to this thing here, which is a permanent trap. So that's the one we want on the left there. Alright, they're coming out here. So which is the correct one? That looks like it's fairly okay. Where's the other one leading? Up here to where the pickup is, right? So we need to go into there. In fact, if we were to go into that one, then they just fall off the edge of that car. So let's go and get the pickup. No. Use your direction select man. Right, so let's have a look. This one leads here, which is leads to another pickup, so that's probably where we want to go. This one leads to this thing here, which is a trap, so we want to avoid that. So we just bash through and go into that one. Yeah, it's this level, I have to say, it's for introducing teleporters. There's just way too much going on. I mean, that just even looking at that is just. I mean, there's already lemmings. You don't know which one to concentrate on next because there's still lemmings going through teleporters here, and it's just a bit. There's a bit too much going on in this. I would definitely simplify this one massively. Like literally, just have maybe 2 sets of teleporters, one leading to a trap and the other one leading to a pickup or even just the exit. I'd definitely suggest simplifying this level as much as possible, really. I think this is where they are now, though. So we want them to go to here so that they can get this pickup, rather than, where's that one leading? There. Which then leads to there. Ah, yeah, so that's where they want to go so that they get to the exit, okay. Because that one would loop them back around to the start again, which we don't want. Okay, cool, so we can start building up to the exit now. Yeah, not my favourite level, that one, to be honest. Just a bit too complicated, and for a beginner that would be just a headache to even look at. So I would definitely, like I say, I would suggest simplifying that one, if possible. So on to level 11 then. This is Gravity Lab. Updrafts. So this one is an updrafts tutorial. It prevents lemmings falling through. Updrafts prevent lemmings falling through them from splatting. They also slow down the fall of normal lemmings and floaters, while they cause gliders to glide upwards again. Splat pads make any lemming that are not a floater or a glider splat if they land inside the trigger area, no matter the distance they fell. Anti-splat pads let all lemmings survive if they land inside their trigger area. To see which object is which, you can rely on clear physics mode again. Let's see if you can figure out how to distribute the glider and the floater correctly here. Wow, okay, so limited skill set then. This thing here, I'm guessing, is to send the glider over the top. Yes, it is. So we need to build over this gap though. So this lemming can build over this gap. This one can be the glider. And I'll make this one a floater to slow it down. That should hopefully slow him down enough. And this one can build over here. Just. I wonder if the updraft won't save them from the splat pad. No, it won't. So I need to do something about that. Is that steel? No, it's not. So I obviously need the fencer for that, so I need to build over this splat pad. Will that be enough? Yeah, again, just. It's quite a precise little level, this one. There we go, cool. Yeah, very good. Stop, rewind and go. Stressful situations should be paused, right? Yeah, mistakes can easily be made, and we want to avoid doing the whole level again because of one misstep. Introducing frame stepping. It is the best thing to happen to Lemmings. I think we can all agree on that. Pause the game and use the following hotkeys to rewind and skip some frames ahead. None skips ahead by one single frame. Right click rewinds by one frame. You can also use the red arrow buttons for these functions. I wonder why it says none skips ahead by one single frame. It's the left mouse button that's assigned to skip ahead a single frame. So I wonder whether that maybe needs to be changed. It just hasn't been changed yet. You can also use the red arrow buttons for these functions. So again, that's referring to the arrows in the skill panel. Holding a button will rapidly continue to perform the corresponding function. Really? I didn't realise that. Whilst rewinding, your old actions are still saved in a replay and will replay again if not cancelled by clicking the left mouse button inside the level area or performing another action. A red R above the skill bar indicates this, i.e. that the level is still in replay mode. So, let me try this because I didn't realise if I press and hold. Ah, no, it's probably referring to these. Yeah, it is. So if you press and hold these buttons. Oh, that's... I didn't realise that they did that. That's cool. That's quite handy. Okay, so just to let you know, I make full use of frame stepping whilst I'm playing in NeoLemmix. Obviously the left mouse button is forward one frame and the right mouse button is backward one frame for me. And then I've mapped the side buttons. The forward one goes forward about 50 frames, I think, and the backwards button goes backward by about 25 frames. So I can skip forward quite a lot, but if I skip forward too much, then I can just press the back 25 frames and it takes me back half that distance. And it just makes getting to the right point in the level a little bit easier and quicker. Anyway, we've got a bit of a puzzle here, so let's have a look. And yeah, it's immediately showing you that this is where frame stepping is super handy when you've got lemmings that are immediately in danger as soon as they come out. And really, unless you're super quick, which I am, then you will need to use the frame stepping. And I use frame stepping all the time, it's super handy. So that one's obviously going to need to be a builder. We don't want that one sinking, so that one can build over there. That one can probably bash. I don't want to use too many builders, so that one can probably bash underneath the trap. Let's see what happens there. I don't want to use another builder there, so I know what to do here. I'm going to fence that way. And this obviously requires a builder. This guy can now build here to make a platform for this one, and I wanted to bash there. So you can see that red R, even though I skipped backwards just then, it's replaying all of the actions that I've taken up to that point, except that one. Yeah, that's, if you want it to be, I'm going to use this stacker here. If you want to skip backwards and keep all of the actions that you made, but you want to put a new one in, what you can do is press, I've got it mapped to O, but it might be a different, I think the default might be different, but I've got it mapped to O. If you watch, the red R changes to a blue R, and that will allow you to insert actions. Yeah, so there we go. The stacker is performed again because it's in the replay, and the route is now completely safe for those, and unfortunately I'm going to have to use a stoner to make that drop safe for these guys. So, objects and functions 13, big steps through the snow. Let's see what this one's about. Frame stepping can also be used to rewind and skip longer periods than just single frames for when you have long bridges to build or distances to walk. None will skip ahead 10 seconds, which is also close to the duration a builder or platformer takes. None will rewind 1 second for when you miscalculated. So again, I think these, where it says none, I think they do need to be populated with info. So shift can be used to skip to the next shrugger. That's the animation at the end of a builder. So if you use that hotkey, which is really handy, it just, when you've assigned a builder, you hit shift and it just goes straight to the end of the build, and it pauses as well. So it just makes building long staircases amazingly quick. Train these buttons in this level. If you want to change your hotkey layout, you can press F3 in the main menu. Right, so I think, yeah, we use the shim here to separate out the worker, and then I'll show you this skip to the next shrugger. Just amazing, really. No waiting around for long builder staircases. Magic. And again, I'm using my forwards side button goes forward about 50 frames, and the backwards one, it's probably less than 25 actually. It's probably like, that's probably 50, and that's probably like 15 maybe. Or it might even be 100 frames and back 25, I think it is, yeah. So that's 100, and then that's back 25, yeah. I'm pretty sure that is what it is actually. And it just allows me to skip quite quickly through levels. But if I've skipped too far, I go back 25 and it just takes me back just a little bit. Oh, that's unfortunate. Plenty of builders though, so it's not too bad. And that's it, I think. Don't want him walking all the way back though, so let's come back over here and assign a right facing builder, and that's it, that's done. So Brilsies. Getting into sorting, objects and functions 14. Hatches can release lemmings with permanent skills already assigned to them. In this case, they are marked with the icon of that skill. Normally, lemmings are equally spread across all hatches, but some hatches can be limited to spawning a certain number of lemmings. Exits can also be limited in the number of lemmings that they can take. Hovering the cursor over a lemming will give information on his status on the left side above the skill bar. So now you have the task of deciding which group of lemmings to release first and which exits they need to take. Think ahead here. Right, so we've got a puzzle now, so let's just pause it for a second. And as you can see, This entrance hatch here is showing us that disarmers are going to come out. That's like a wrench showing that it's the disarmer skill, and there's going to be 2 of them. And climbers are going to be coming out of this one, and there's 4 of them. That exit will take 2 lemmings, that one will take 3, that one will take 2. I wonder why the numbers are so far above. I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway. So we've got disarmers here. So we want to make sure that the disarmers get to these traps here. Right, obviously the climbers, the 4 climbers need to go to these 2 upper exits. So to make that happen, we need to make we need to get 3 normal lemmings into these exits here. So these 3 lemmings here need to come out first. One of them will go into that, and the other 2 will go into here. So now we can release the climbers. And 2 of them will go that way, the other 2 will go up that way. Right, so now we've got 5 normal lemmings. So what we need is the 2 disarmers to go in different directions. So we'll do that. Right, no, that didn't quite work. So we'll do that. Yeah, that's it. And then when that one comes back, he'll be facing that way. Right, that should be it now. Nice, that's a nice little puzzle, that one. I enjoyed that. Highlights with a safety net. Reached a critical point in your level and want to make a save state? No problem. Press none, and with none you can jump back to that state. When skipping back, your old actions are saved in a live replay if you still want to replay a few of them. Remember the red R above the skill bar. Also, by right-clicking on a lemming, you can highlight him, and right-clicking on any skill inside the skill bar will automatically assign the skill to him. Very useful to keep track of a lemming with a permanent skill or assigning skills to a lemming outside of your current screen area. Let's train this with a builder lemming who has to build a long bridge while you are busy elsewhere. Assign after the 3rd click. Right, okay. So by right-clicking on a lemming you can highlight him, and then right-clicking on a skill will automatically assign a skill to him. Right, okay. So there's only 1 lemming that comes out of here. Let's just have a look at the level. Right, and he's got to build up to there. So that one needs to be right-clicked. It's not working. Probably because I've got right-click assigned to maybe if I shift click? No. Control click? No. Right, let me just see what my highlight lemming hotkey is, because it's different to I basically never use the highlight lemming thing. In fact, I don't have a hotkey for it. Right, I'm gonna have to create a hotkey for it. Let's make it something that isn't being used. Have I got any letters that aren't being used? U. Yeah, that'll do. So I'll make that highlight lemming. Okay. Right, let's try that again. So, if I press U and click this lemming, it should highlight him. There we go, it has done. So I'm guessing that if I right click, that didn't work. Maybe I have to press U and then click the skill. Yeah, that's right. So I have to press and hold U and click the skill in order to assign it to this lemming. Let's just up the release rate, get all these floaters assigned. Oh no, there's quite a lot of lems. Right, let's not do that then. Right, so I need to press U and then hit the builder icon to assign a builder to this lemming. Floater. I wonder if that'll be safe. That's why I never use it, because it just confuses me, to be honest. Right, that's safe now. So yeah, there we go, it worked. So we've still got the lemming highlighted. Hopefully though, what it'll demonstrate is what it would be like for a beginner, because I basically never use highlight lemming, so this is what it would be like for a beginner. Probably going to need that basher. No, go on, let's not cheat. There we go. Cool. Okay. Night of the Living Lems, Objects and Functions 16. Zombie lemmings are here to eat your brains. You have to avoid them as they infect your normal lemmings and turn them into zombies as well. They also keep all permanent skills and use them against you. Zombies don't push buttons and cannot pick up skills, but they do activate traps. Use this to your advantage. There can also be zombie hatches. So send out scouts in this level to nullify the zombie threat before you send out your main crowd. Build over incoming zombies to avoid them, lure them into traps, dig death pits and lead the zombies into them, or avoid them completely. The pickup skills in this level may give you a hint towards the right technique needed in an area. Okay. Another very interesting looking tile set. obviously Halloween themed. Right, so that was a builder pickup. So the hint there is that the idea is going to be to build over this zombie, and I don't think I started building early enough there, so let's go from there. Yeah, that's plenty. And then I'm going to have to platform as well. Oh dear. It might be that you have to sacrifice this lemming. I think that's the case. So bashing through there will kill that one, but then there's also another single-use trap here to kill that one. Right, got it, okay. And then we send out another worker. Cloner and a digger. So, right, I know what you've got to do. I see. So if we clone the lemming about here, then this one can bash through to release the zombies, and this one can dig so the zombies walk into the water. And then we send out our third and final worker. And I think that Grim Reaper there is a trap. Yes, it is. But we have a disarmer here. I get the feeling though that we need the trap to kill the zombies. So I used 2 skills here. I don't think I was supposed to use 2. So let's just go back. Because I can just platform from there. Yeah, if I just platform. Right, okay, I've got to get the timing of this right as well then. So wait till the lemming's coming, the zombie lemming is on his way back. And hopefully this will be enough time. Nah. Right. Okay, so where were we? We platform across to here, and now we have the builder to build over the trap. Right, I think I know what needs to happen. So I need to bash through there. Oh, he's a climber. Of course he is. So that zombie will walk into that trap. What about this one though? Oh, hang on a minute. I'm overthinking this. It's fine. I can do this. So grab the disarmer. I can disarm the trap, and I can bash these lemmings from out of here. Then block there, and this one. Oh man, I've only got one basher now though. This is quite tricky. Right, I need to time. I obviously need to get the timing of this first climber pretty much spot on. So We'll try when the zombie is about there. That should be enough time now to platform over the zombie. No, I needed to do it a bit sooner than that. So try when the zombie's about there. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Right, so there really are only just enough skills to do this correctly, which is tricky. If I was a complete beginner, I would find this really, really difficult. It's only because I'm used to Lemmings and NeoLemmix that I'm kind of able to think my way around this one. It would be interesting actually to show a complete beginner this level and see if they can figure it out. Yeah, so we can bash these guys free. The disarmer can disarm the trap. And the blocker can go there. Cool. Okay, so I think this is the final level in the rank now, so let's have a look at this one. Objects and functions 17. The grey neutral lemmings can and should be saved just like normal lemmings, but there is a catch. You cannot assign skills to them. You use normal lemmings to make a safe path for them, otherwise they will most likely just walk straight to their deaths. Even if only neutrals remain on the level, it will continue to play as they could still reach the exit. Also, there can be neutral hatches on the map. Now try and guide these mindless dummies to the exit. Okay, so that one's the neutral hatch, so's that one. Right, so we do only have one lemming to work with. Right, I see what you've got to do. I see what you've got to do. Dig through here. And that gets this guy ahead. And as much as it looks like they'll just walk around this loop-the-loop, they won't. They're going to stop here, so I'm going to need to make a stacker. Climb over the stack. Bash through there. That's not going to be enough time. I needed to do the stack a lot further back than that to buy myself some time. Let's find the shortest distance through this using the skill shadows, probably there. There we go, perfect. Yeah, that one wasn't too difficult, that was okay. Brill. Okay, so that was the first 2 ranks of the NeoLemmix introduction pack. There's a couple of things that it does really well, and there's a couple of things that I think are missing from it really, with it being a pack that's aimed at beginners. So the thing it does really well is obviously explain everything in great detail. You know, the previous screens have got plenty of information for the player, and of course the levels themselves kind of direct the player through the level so that it's almost impossible to get it wrong, and in that way it definitely teaches them a particular nuance of a skill or a particular thing that you need to know in order to be able to play Lemmings in NeoLemmix. However, it doesn't give a great deal of opportunity for the player to just explore and just find things out on their own. You know, the skill sets are all kind of limited to whatever the level is supposed to be teaching, which is, I mean, that approach is okay, because it means that there's a right and a wrong answer. It's a very kind of mathematical way to approach learning the game. But I would say that's not how everybody learns. I think some people, certainly myself, and I can't be the only one, some people do learn better by just being given 50 of each skill and a map which kind of encourages the player to use those skills and just find out what happens. That I prefer to learn that way, and I think that there are certain levels in this pack which I think would have been better if they had have been designed that way. The levels are designed in a very neat and very kind of prescriptive way. So it's like, this is the route that you're supposed to take. If you do anything other than what's intended, then you won't complete the level. And that's fine, because a lot of puzzle levels are like that, and it's kind of getting the player into that mindset. And I do understand why the pack has been designed that way, certainly. But it's not necessarily conducive to learning about what the skills do, what the objects do. You know, sometimes it is better to present the player with an environment where they can just figure out on their own what certain things do, and maybe create their own route through a map. That is certainly a good way to learn, because the player is then instinctively and intuitively learning what to do on a creative level, and that is crucial. You know, learning to think creatively, problem solving, all that kind of thing is very much a part of puzzle games, and it shouldn't be ignored, especially in a tutorial pack. So I would advise having a look at 1 or 2 of those levels and see if, you know, could I make this either a less prescriptive map, so make it so that there's more than one route around this map and the player can find those routes out on their own, or just maybe up the skill sets in a few of them, so that if a player goes wrong, then it's easy for them to correct it and go back. That's kind of, you know, that's what the fun levels do. They kind of present that opportunity to the player. Anyway, with that said, you know, the thing that this pack definitely gets right is it gives all the information to the player, and it presents it in such a way that you can't really get it wrong. There is a right and a wrong answer, and the level directs the player towards the right answer. So if they get through this part of the pack, they've definitely learned that particular skill. I would recommend this pack to a player that's already familiar with Lemmings, but maybe hasn't played it for a while, and certainly they've never played it in NeoLemmix. I'd say play the NeoLemmix introduction pack, because it'll remind you about the game itself, and it'll remind you what all the skills do, and it'll teach you what the new ones do as well, and it'll also get you used to using NeoLemmix as a platform. I'm pretty sure that that's what the point of this pack is, and it definitely gets that right. If somebody's never played Lemmings before, though, I definitely wouldn't point them to this. I'd probably point them to either the original game, or just maybe a really easy pack with loads of skills, loads of maps that just encourage exploration, and just say, go nuts. That is the best way to learn just Lemmings as a game if you've never played it before. But I'm kind of waffling now, aren't I? 2 hours, wow. This is going to be a bitch to edit. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I hope it's been informative and hopefully given some feedback on the introduction pack. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the forums.